In today's session of Divorce Court, Eve Brooks Fletcher says after she was diagnosed with cancer, Thurston had no time for her.
Work stopped you from going to see it. That's a real flimsy excuse. You're that heartless?
The love is not there anymore, Your Honor. This is not the same woman I married.
You're not the same man she married.
But he says it wasn't his time she wanted his money.
For her conception of what a husband is I'm just her meal ticket. I'm just supposed to give her money.
Just handing out money.
Handing out money,
counting money.
She's looking for a boyfriend or a sugar daddy instead of a husband.
Oh, she's looking for a sugar daddy.
If there's no sex involved, there's no money. If I look at you like a bank, then you must look at me like a sex toy.
Now Eve Brooks Fletcher and Thurston Gautier square off in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Eve Brooks Fletcher versus Thurston Gautier. I am advised that after 3 years of marriage, about 3.5 years of marriage, you're ready to throw in the towel, Mrs. Fletcher. Why?
Because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I got very little support from him.
You were diagnosed with cancer?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
2 years ago.
That's not
and you
true.
got very little support from him?
Right.
What do you mean by that?
That's not true. That's not true. I'll support
Just let
you.
me hear from Mrs. Fletcher.
Around that time, we was having our ups and downs, and we was separated at the time, and I went through the diagnosis and the surgery alone.
You went through diagnosis and the surgery alone. So he wasn't there when you had surgery for cancer?
No.
Is that right, Mr. Gautier? You're that heartless?
She knows I tried to be there for her. I tried to be there. I tried to.
What did you do?
I went to see her. I tried to see her. Tried to talk to her. She
Tried
won't
to
talk
see her?
to
What
me.
stopped you from going to see her? She was at home?
Work, and most of the time, like I said, we argue more
Excuse
than we
me,
talk.
Mr. Gautier.
Your Honor.
Work stopped you from going to see her. That's a real flimsy excuse. Your wife is sick with cancer, and you can't take. You didn't work 24/7.
No, we were separated, Your Honor, and I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to argue with her about it. I was mad because she was very secret. She should have told me from the beginning what was.
So
what was
because
really
you were
going
mad
on.
that she didn't tell you, you couldn't get over your madness that she didn't tell you to go see about a woman who's sick with cancer and in pain.
You would have to understand, Your Honor.
No, I don't understand. You're right. It's hard for me to understand. You're mad because she didn't tell you, so therefore you just can't go see her? You couldn't forget yourself for a minute and think about what pain she was going through?
It wasn't like that, Your Honor. It wasn't.
Explain it to me.
Well, Your Honor, I wanted to see her. I could have went and seen her, but I was so stressed out from the arguments that we have. I don't think that she really wanted me there from the beginning. Or if
So
she
do you
did, she
think
would
if
have
you would-
told me to come. She would have asked me. She would have let me know what was going on. If she wanted me there, I would have been there.
So you're doing pretty good now?
I'm doing a little better.
Is he there
That's
for
nice
you
to
now?
hear that. It's nice to know. At least you're telling me.
You knew that.
You mean you still haven't kept in touch with her?
No, Your Honor. We've been separated for a while. Like I said, I haven't seen her that much to really. The love is not there anymore, Your Honor. This is not the same woman I married.
Well, you know what? You're not the same man she married. And you're right, she's not the same woman, because when you married her, she wasn't full of cancer, was she? To your knowledge?
No, ma'am.
So what do you mean by she's not the same woman? You have another reason for saying that, huh?
Even before the cancer, I think that our relationship, 3.5 years, has been a roller coaster. It's been hell. I've tried to be a husband to her.
Tell me about the roller coaster.
I've tried to be a husband to her. She's too secretive. I work. When I do work, I come home tired. I try to talk to her, try to share the things that I need to share with her, because I'd be stressed out too on the job. I'm not the only one that deal with this, and I can't talk to her. She shuts me out. She ignores me. She wants to argue rather than to sit and listen to my problems.
That's not
Our
true.
problems.
That's not true.
So what are you saying about that?
That's not true. That's when you work.
So he doesn't work?
He's the type that he'll get a job, he will work, but he'll up and quit at
The drop of a hat.
the drop of a hat. He'll just up and quit, and then that puts more stress in the household, because then I have to work more to make ends meet. And then
So you're saying he runs all the time from situations just
Yes.
like he ran from your cancer?
Right.
That's not
and
true.
then,
That's not true.
And then you're talking about coming home arguing. You're the one not comfortable.
That's
if
not
I'm
true.
at work,
You
I'll
know
come
I
home
work.
and he'll say,
You know I come
you've been
home.
out with a man or something.
You know
knowing,
I come home. You know I bring you the money.
Why are you accusing her
that's
of
not
going
true.
out?
knowing that at the time I had a job where I was running a company. There was no way I could be out.
She never had
just
time
out
for me.
with
She
the
was
man.
always
I was
gone. And when I
running a
asked her where
company.
she was going, she would never come and tell me, look, if she has to be a certain place, then come talk to me. She wouldn't talk to me.
So she wouldn't tell you where she was going?
No, she wouldn't tell me where she was.
Wouldn't tell you what she was doing?
She said she was at work. Sometimes I call and she wouldn't even be there.
You don't believe she was at work?
A lot of times, no. Either
Where do you
she's out
think
with
she
someone
was?
else. I don't know, out with her girlfriends or out with a boyfriend. I don't know. All I know is that this woman, it just didn't work between us. Her conception of what a man is supposed to do is supposed to give her money, not ask her questions. She's looking for a boyfriend or a sugar daddy instead of a husband.
Oh, she's looking for a sugar daddy, not a husband.
Something instead of a husband.
So
I tried to be a husband to her.
So you're saying that her conception
So
of
he
a
wants
husband is a
sex
man
toys.
that's
It's totally different.
handing out money.
Handing out money. Somebody who
counting
gives
money.
her money without asking questions about it.
Is he your sugar daddy?
So, no, if there's no sex involved, there's no money. That's the way he puts it.
If there's no sex involved,
There's no money.
There's
No,
no money.
that's not
That's the
true.
way he puts
That's
it. So
not
I
true.
guess you look at me.
That's
If I
not
look
true.
at
It's
you
not
like a
always-
bank,
It's not
if I
always
look at you
sex,
like a
it's
bank,
cuddling.
then you must look at me like a
Sometimes
sex
I need a
toy.
hug.
So wait a minute. What are you saying to me, Mrs. Fletcher? He says you look at him as sugar daddy, and you're saying if there's no money, there's no sex.
I didn't say
There's
that.
no sex, there's no money. So what are you saying? Is that he looks at you as you have to give him
If
sex
there's
in
no
order
sex,
to get money?
If there's no sex, there's no money.
So when you stop making
When I
love to him, he
stopped
stopped
making
giving up
love
the
to
money.
him, he stopped being financially
Supportive. When your body was sick and you could no longer make him feel good like Dr. Feel Good.
No.
Exactly.
Then he started
That's
giving you
when
money.
he started saying that there was space in between our relationship and that I didn't feel enough emotions for him and, stuff like that. I just wasn't reaching out to him enough.
It's not like that, Your Honor.
Mr.
It was
Godier,
not
what
like
is that? Did she have to pay for love?
No. Either way, Honor, I've had enough of her and her mood swings, the way she always asks me for money. I can afford to take care of my life. Our lives are separate now. Our lives are separate. We're getting this divorce because our lives are separate now. I can't afford to support her and support myself at the same time.
Well, let me ask you something, Mr. Godier. You said you're tired of her asking you for money. Married people tend to do that to each other. Is that a new development that married people don't ask each other for money? Is that something new too?
Might be a new concept with it.
Guess so.
I believe she made up deals just to, she won't show me receipts.
Hell, you can make up the electric bill, you can make up the phone bill, and you can make up
just say that she had to pay
water
something just to
bill.
get money, from
What
me.
bills did you make up, Miss Fletcher?
I don't know,
Just to
because
get money
all
from
I
me.
would
And I
pay
would
was
not
the
ask her.
rent, the water, the electric.
What, you had a thing going on
phone.
with the telephone company and you just like to give them
It
your
was a
money?
little secret that
No,
Ron
Your
didn't
Honor,
want. I'm busted.
I don't think it was like
My
that, Your
secret's
Honor.
out, I'm
She
sorry.
would make up excuses just to get money so she can go out and do what she want to do. Even when the bills were paid,
Excuse me, I was
would
working
give her
all the
money.
time.
Now tell me, what was she doing so much that she was sick, Mr. Godier?
Exactly, and I was working all the time.
I didn't know, Your Honor. She didn't tell me she was sick.
But you saying so she can go out and do what she wanted to do. What did you see her going out to do? You're just making up something now.
I'm just her meal ticket. I'm just supposed to give her money and not
her
ask
meal
any questions
ticket.
about it. It's
Well,
not
let me ask
always
you,
about
are you
bills.
making that much money that you can be a meal ticket?
No, Your Honor. No, I'm not.
So what makes you think you're just her meal ticket unless you have millions?
That's the impression that she's giving me. That's been her whole conversation. We cannot talk unless it's about bills or money.
When divorce court returns, will Eve and Thurston go through with the divorce?
You gonna leave this woman when she's down and sick?
She doesn't love me.
Do you want it?
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Eve Brooks Fletcher, who says after she was diagnosed with cancer, her husband Thurston abandoned her.
Are we talking about money again today?
Yes, we are. Here
What's
we
the
are
money
again.
we're talking about today?
We're talking about the painting and a picture that she has. I've
The
given her.
painting?
Yes, the painting that I've
You know,
painted.
Mr. Godier, you really annoy me. Can you stop slapping your hand down on that table?
Sorry.
All right.
me honor.
You're talking about a painting and a picture.
A painting and a television, Your Honor.
A painting and a television.
I'm a little upset right now. The painting
Why
that
are you
she
so
has
upset?
there, she's lying. She's not being real truthful about
not
our
lying.
marriage, about the things that we went through.
She being truthful about one thing. It's over, right?
Yes,
She truthful
I
about
agree
that?
with that. I agree with that, Your Honor.
Tell me about this painting that the argument is over.
This
There's
is
a
a painting
painting.
that
Let me see that.
This is a painting that he painted. It's one of the only things that he personally gave me in the 3.5 years that we've been married, and I believe that I should be able to keep it.
This is your work, Mr. Gaudet?
Yes, I've given that painting. When I gave her that painting, I gave it to somebody that I loved, somebody I really cared about. I spent a lot of time in that painting. It was one of my first paintings, my first works, and
You
she
did
doesn't
this all
deserve
with
that.
your hands?
With the brush and the acrylic.
He's got
still.
talent, he just won't use it.
This is very
There's no
talented.
need in us being without money.
So you painted this for your wife?
No, I painted it for myself. I painted it. It was one of my first paintings, and I had given it to her at a time that I was trying to save our marriage.
When you were being a sugar daddy and giving her stuff?
Your Honor.
You said you gave it to her to try to save the marriage. Was that one of those gifts, just like you said you have to give money to be with her?
Well, I gave it to her and to let her understand how much I loved her. She knew that painting was very special to me, and I was holding on to it.
So you painted it when you were separated?
No, when we were still married.
But you painted it as a hobby or something you were doing for
Yes,
yourself?
as a hobby. This is what I do with stress. I do not do it for money.
You need to try to start doing some of this for
Exactly.
money. I think that's pretty
People
good work.
will buy them. I went out and got people that said if he painted, they would sell them from their shop. You know.
But he doesn't want to do it on a regular basis. It's
He
something
doesn't
that
wanna
comes
do it
to
if
you
you
when you
ask
do
him
it.
to.
No, I don't. It's a talent. It's just something that I use to relieve stress.
Okay, now, so you painted it, relieving stress, but then you decided, I'm going to give this painting to my wife. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I gave it to the woman I loved. This is not the woman I loved.
Oh, you gave it to the woman you loved.
Yes.
And this is not the woman you love.
This is just another.
Is that the same
It doesn't
person?
mean very much to her. It's just another item in the house. She
If this is
doesn't-
not the woman you
she
loved,
doesn't
who
honor
is
it.
she?
I don't know. She's a lot different from when we first were married.
So now you don't love her anymore.
I care about her, but I'm not in love with her anymore.
Is it because she no longer has the strength to do the things that she did before, given the frailty of her body with the sickness that she's going through? Are you about to leave her now? You forgot the part in sickness
It's not about
and
that,
in
Your
health?
Honor. It's about the pain that we go through. We don't talk anymore. I don't feel as though she loves me anymore.
You're going to leave this woman when she's down and sick? You really going to do that?
She doesn't love me. She doesn't want me.
Do you want it?
I don't think there's any reconciliation in this marriage.
Okay, you're right. She doesn't want you.
I don't want to be any place I want. I'm not loved. I'm
So
not
now
needed.
you want to take the painting back?
I want the painting, yes. I want the painting because I painted it and she doesn't appreciate it.
Why do
I
you
think
want
that
it?
I should be able to keep it because that's one of the only things that he gave me in our marriage, that he
That's not
actually
true.
gave me.
That's not true.
But you don't love him anymore.
No, but I still want it as a symbol for me not to make that mistake again.
And every time you see it, and every time you see it, it has
Mine.
a signature on it.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead.
That was my husband. And you know, that was the only thing, the only material thing that had any kind of sentimental value that he gave me through our whole marriage.
What about the ring?
And I don't feel like I
doesn't
should have to
appreciate
give it back.
What
She
about the
doesn't
wedding ring?
appreciate it.
He didn't give you a wedding ring? You look at me like I'm speaking Greek.
Yes, we've had wedding rings.
We've had wedding.
bonds.
We had them.
During a fight we had one
And
day, I threw mine
threw-
away, out of anger. I was very angry. She got to the point where she wouldn't even wear hers anymore.
Are you wearing it now?
No.
Oh.
Now that I caught him sleeping with somebody else, why should I wear a marriage? That band means nothing to him.
You did not catch me sleeping with anyone. You just
No,
assumed that I was sleeping
I
with her.
come in and y'all was coming out the room, and
Oh, wait a minute.
That doesn't mean that we were sleeping together. We were in the same house.
I'm not stupid.
You came into your house, saw your husband coming out of the bedroom with another woman?
But that don't mean that
And
they
that
were
doesn't
sleeping
mean they were
together.
sleeping
That doesn't mean I was sleeping with her.
What that
She
mean?
was
You
a
was
friend.
playing games with
No,
her?
she was a friend. She was a friend. We were in the house. She just happened to go in the bedroom to do something or
Your
other, and I
bedroom?
came to the door. Yes, and I came to the door. Eve knew this person.
Why is this friend of yours in your bedroom, your wife's
She shouldn't
bedroom?
have been
You and
there
your
when I
wife's
wasn't
bedroom.
there.
Huh?
Your
You
Honor.
can't answer that?
Yes, I can answer that, Your Honor.
But you weren't sleeping with her. So that's why this is not the woman you married anymore, because you found another woman, huh?
No, Your Honor.
Couple of them. No,
Your
more
Honor.
than one he been with.
You can't prove that. You can't.
You called
You're
me
just
and
saying
told me.
every woman I talk to, I have
Wait a
to be
minute.
with. I have to sleep with.
That was one. And
Why
that
can't I
incident
have
with the
female
bedroom.
friends without having
And
to
then
sleep
one
with
particular time he called me and told me I got a girlfriend. So what about that?
After we were married. I mean, after we were separated.
We're not
After we were
divorced yet.
separated.
What gives you the right?
I have friends,
And
girlfriends. They don't
think I'm
necessarily
supposed
have to
believe
be.
that you don't sleep with
They don't
these
have to have.
people?
They don't have to be lovers. I work with women every day.
Yeah.
And
I've worked with them too. There's a difference in working with them and bringing them home to the bedroom. That's a little too far. But maybe your work continues in the bedroom.
No, you're right.
I don't know. Why would you want to take it back when you gave it to her and you loved her?
She doesn't appreciate it.
What about this television?
She had no problem with it when I took it when we separated. I didn't have a television.
Well,
All
I
had
just
was my
left.
clothes.
I
She
didn't
have
try to
any
take
problem
it at
with
the time.
She didn't have no problem with me using the television or having the television.
Yeah,
But now she wants it.
Now she wants it.
And how long have you been apart?
2.5 months.
So you let him take the TV
No, I left the TV and moved into another place.
and got you another TV.
Nah,
Come on with it, tell the
The
truth.
TV is not mine.
You don't have another TV.
The other TV that I'm using is not mine.
And the two of you only had one television.
Well,
in an American
we
household.
had
We've had more than one
other
television.
TVs.
She has.
He
I
got
believe she
upset
probably
one
has
day.
several televisions now.
He got upset one day and took one apart.
She has televisions. I don't know why
I
she's
do.
even telling that.
Where are they?
I don't even know why. All the stuff you've had.
And that's beside the point. What I have.
No, it's not beside the point what you have, because I just asked you.
The
Did you
TV that
more
I
than
have
one
is not
television?
mine. It's a borrowed TV. First of all.
Well, then I didn't
But-
say. Do you own or possess more than one television?
I borrow. I am right now. I'm borrowing a TV. I don't own any TVs other than that one.
So the two of you only had one television.
Yeah.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Tammy Walker versus Daryl Walker.
We have intimacy problems. I wasn't pleasing him the way he wanted to be pleased as often.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Thurston Gauthier, who's divorcing his wife Eve because he says she only wants a sugar daddy, not a husband.
The painting, Mr. Gauthier, you gave it to her. You gave it to her when you loved her. You gave it to her because it meant something to you at the time. You appreciated her enough to have it. You don't take it back. That's not what life is. I give somebody something, but when I get mad at them, I take it back. That's the way children play. When they play marbles and when they play jacks and when they play with each other's toys, and then when they get mad, they want it back. That's the way children play. You should have given it some thought. If you loved her enough to give it to her then, it's too bad. She gets to keep it now. You just have to paint another one. Give it to her, Joe. The television is already in your possession. You can keep the television. That's the order of the court.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Tammy Walker versus Daryl Walker.
If I have to work 2 jobs to support my family, that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't think that that's grounds for us to get a divorce.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Tammy Walker said she still loved her husband Daryl, but their problems had become more than she could bear.
We have intimacy problems. I wasn't pleasing him the way he wanted to be pleased as often.
But Daryl did not want to let go.
I was legitimately upset about the frequency of our intimacy, and I felt that it might have had something to do with me. Every marriage has financial problems. And if I have to work 2 jobs to support my family, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, he'd be the one telling me that I was using him, that I wasn't fulfilling for him.
I don't think that that's grounds for us to get a divorce.
And the judge convinced them to give their marriage one last try.
This should not be a divorce. 2 people love each other, crying. You don't want this marriage to end, do you?
I never did,
You still love her.
and I always will.
You can work this out. Don't you think so, Miss Walker?
Yes.
Daryl says he and Tammy are now in counseling, and he's doing everything he can to show Tammy how much he loves her. He bought her a new wedding band as a symbol of their new start, and even tattooed her name on his arm. Tammy says Daryl's heart is in the right place, but she feels smothered by his actions. Daryl says he's trying to remain optimistic, but they both feel that a final divorce is inevitable.
I'm not happy at all. She doesn't deserve that painting. That's been our whole marriage. It's been just disgusting from the beginning.
I spent a lot of money paying for that TV, and by right, I think I should have got the TV.
I'm just glad that she didn't get the television, but I don't see any love between us anymore.